It makes
You know
sense
what? You know
for
what?
both
It's
these
not
characters.
PS2.
Well, I'm fine with any gentleman's. I think it makes it a total sense for both these characters. I know Robin does really good on PS2, however. Sephiroth, I believe he does good on pretty much most stages. He falls in that bracket of, like, there's not really a stage he doesn't feel comfortable on, at least to my knowledge.
I don't think there are many characters that have bad stages. I just think there are characters with villains.
I think the problem comes is there's definitely a few characters that, like, if there's a bigger stage, it becomes super problematic for them. But I am so happy today to see Jamshyd, one of my good friends, finally coming out back to ESA and playing right here. And we've got Cashew as well, who's been recently doing quite decently at recent locals, so I'll be interested to see how the set plays out. And already we're seeing kind of a dark omen of Jamshyd already getting him at the ledge and trapping him.
He did use up all his arc fire there, or at least I think he did.
Which I think is pretty fine in most situations. Like, I trust Jam. I trust Jam in the way that they use their arc fire.
Okay.
And, ooh, that's a great conversion, the classic arc fire F smash.
As you were saying.
Yeah, I trust him.
I'm just, like, one of these stocks, Jamshyd is just going to convert off of, like, the randomness thing, and it's going to kill him.
Now, this matchup is interesting to me because when you think about it, right, both these characters, most of their best moves are in the air. Of course, Sephiroth does have his forward tilt, but Robin loves anti-airing, so it almost feels like Cashew's going to need to strictly be very good at the idea of saying, I need to hold this mid-range and I need to anti-air and air-to-air you consistently. And right now, we're seeing Jam breaking into his zone and not allowing Cashew to play like that at all.
I mean, like, whenever I play against Cashew, the biggest thing that I notice is that he can't, like, regain his zone very easily, if that makes sense. Like, once you get in on him, it takes him a while for you to, like, get back to where he wants to be.
Oh, he doesn't know how to deal with arc fire. That's really problematic. And I will not say, just in case the fact he can hear me, but I'll be a little louder. Arc fire is really lacking. Its total frames is like 60.
That's so unlucky.
I don't know if that was intentional or
No, that was not it. He got hit by the sword, and then he meant to, like, short hop down here.
Oh,
He got hit by the sword.
I guess it's always unfortunate when you see something like that happen.
And it's, like, it's such a, like, mentality breaker, too. Especially up against, like, at least, like, me personally, when I'm up against somebody like Jamshyd and I SD twice, I'm just, like, I'm feeling awful about myself.
I like the song choice.
I haven't heard this song. This sounds kind of like a banger.
This game's got so many secret bangers, dude. People just don't even know. Now, we're on to game 2. I believe it's Small Battlefield. Yeah, this is Cashew's counter pick. It makes sense. Robin definitely does prefer PS2 over Small Battlefield, I believe, but it's still a platform formation that does help the character quite a lot. However, it is smaller, and it will allow Cashew the ability to more properly get on top of Jam.
Just, like, watching this right now, I don't understand why he's jumping in. Like, his sword is so long. Like, he's getting so much closer than he needs to be. He can just poke with bear, I feel like.
The problem comes down to a lot with this matchup, or for a lot of people against Robin, is they don't understand that the character is flawed. The character is highly flawed and has a lot of problems if you play a certain way. Obviously, certain characters are better at exploiting that certain play style, and some characters just can't, and that leads to you not doing quite well against Robin. But Robin isn't, you know, your run-of-the-mill S-tier, double Z-tier character, you know?
She's like, what, A-tier?
I'm not sure. But they definitely have a lot of flaws. One of their biggest flaws, of course, is their movement. Very slow character. Super hard for them to effectively, like, get away from you or to properly get on you if you're a fast character. And that jab is gonna kill. I believe that jab actually got buffed pretty recently.
Really?
Yeah, I think in the recent patch, or was it the wind one?
I thought it was the win one. Maybe it was. I don't know.
Who knows? They buffed the jab. They buffed one of them.
Yeah.
Though Cashew is no slouch right now, it's still possible for him to quite easily,
Oh, that's the middle.
that was really greedy of him, actually, though.
Yeah.
I think he's panicking way too much about, like, trying to get in, right?
He's seeing, like, the percent on his side and the percent on Jamshyd's side, and he's just like, I gotta kill now.
He looks, the thing is, too, is if you're watching the player cam, he looks absolutely defeated, which, you know, you always hate to see when the player's mentality drops, but against, like, certain people who play zoners that not a lot of people traditionally play, and have certain gimmicks that not a lot of people are used to, it can feel almost overwhelming, and you think to yourself, how can people think this character's bad? But, you know, I always encourage people, do your research, check that ultimate frame data, ask the player questions, you know?
My biggest flaw is that I've two things. I can't back air, and I've never checked ultimate frame data once. Somebody told me that Cloud's updates frame 9, and that's the only data, or frame 7, and that's the only data I know.
No, there's a point where obviously, like, you know, it's just good to know.
Yeah.
Oh, and get in the Capri Sun, fill up. Recovering. Oh no.
He didn't do it again there. Arcfire.
Ooh.
He finally learned to roll though. Bob Smash is gonna take it too.
Yeah, I will note that Sephiroth is a character that is pretty good at making comebacks due to his wing mechanics, so I wouldn't be surprised if we could see potential. However, it's slowly getting harder and harder. Ooh, makes it back. Great recovery from Cashew. Staying patient. Oh, that's gonna do it.
He didn't, like, I only saw him roll through Arcfire once that whole game.
I've got your back.
And, like, yeah, it's definitely a punishable option to use if it does anymore, still.
That's unfortunate, though. You definitely, with that situation... Gray Akaya. That's going to be an interesting one. Mario and Yoshi. Or, I think Gray is still playing Mario. I know I haven't talked to him. I know he plays a lot of stuff right now. But, no, I definitely think... in that matchup especially, it really just came down to the fact that it just felt like Cashew just didn't know the matchup. And it's unfortunate because, you know, it always feels the worst, right? When you're like, man, I feel like I could have done it if I just knew A and B and C.